Hi, everybody. Welcome to the For Real Deal with Cece
and Kirk here.
All right. Today we're going to talk about how to show appreciation. And you know, we all love having everybody show us appreciation. I know I do.
And I know I do too.
And so if you've been in a relationship, you know, especially long term, and you're going through your day to day, it's easy to fall into a rut that leads to, and then sometimes you start taking each other for granted. And you don't really mean to. It's just that you got to get up and go to work and then come home and get up and go to work. And there's that circle. And so, you know, this type of behavior, sometimes when we ignore each other a little bit, it leads to hurt feelings. But today, we're going to tell you how to get back on track and fix that.
And that's the whole thing about it, too, because, again, in your relationship, after a certain period of time, things go into a normal little routine, and this is the lighter side to it. This is the thing which you want to go ahead and do to show, hey, I love you, I care about you, and that let's move forward. And, you know, that's the one thing about it is this. You want to go ahead and have a different tone. And that's the whole reason why we're saying, look, it's not hard. It's really simple, and it's a lot easier than what you think right here.
Exactly. And see, these are things that you can do just anytime, anywhere to let that person know, you know, that I really am not trying to take you for granted, because there are two main ways that people that, you know, that we take each other for granted. One is the lack of acknowledgement and consideration for the other, and then using your partner to meet your needs. So we're going to talk about the lack of acknowledgement first.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing about it is this. You think that it's easy to go ahead and say please and thank you, but when you get into a relationship in which all you're doing is going, and that's your whole communication line. And I mean, yes, we know you want to say you love that person, but after a while of just hearing,
You know, and you don't have to say I love you all the time, just every now and then. You can even just simple everyday things. If you ask, oh, can you turn the lights off? And the person turns the lights off. Okay, dear, thank you for doing that. We're talking about the little things. The little things go a long way. If he's in the kitchen and he cleaned up the dishes, well, dear, thank you for cleaning up the dishes. Again, these little things go a long way because they show appreciation for everyday things that we do for each other.
Yeah.
And it's nice to know that, you know what, I noticed that. That's really what you're saying is, I noticed you did that, and okay, I'm going to acknowledge it. And just with a simple thank you.
Yep, and that's the thing about it too, because you know, fellas out there, you like a little pat on the head every once in a while. You like you like your little significant other to go ahead and give you the pat on the butt to let you know that you're appreciated. And this are the simple things in which you want to give back to.
Yes.
Because it goes a long way in a relationship when you're actually going ahead and telling her thank you. We're going ahead and helping her out. You know, if she's washing dishes out there, assist in drying.
Exactly, and that'll give you an added excuse to just be around her and spend some time with her. And she will notice. Believe me, we notice, guys, because every little thing you do to help in everyday life means so much, because it means you're working with me and we're building together. And so while you're in there helping her doing the dishes, you know, just making eye contact, that's another simple thing you can do.
Yeah, because when you're talking about communicating with somebody, a lot of this is done non-verbally.
Right.
It's through contact. It's through the way in which you look. Looking into a person's eyes when you're talking to them. Going ahead and actually putting your hand on their shoulder or on their back right there in order to comfort them or let them know that you're there.
Right.
These are important little gestures right here that make the relationship go a lot further. It shows the appreciation which you have for each other. And it also goes ahead and bonds you. I know we've been saying appreciate a lot, but this is something which you definitely need to go ahead and push, because in any kind of relationship, especially in long term, we kind of take things for granted.
Right.
And that's the biggest problem, is by taking things for granted, you wonder why you have complications in it, why you're having a lull, or why you're having any kind of problems. And you don't realize that, wait, when was the last time that I actually went ahead, sat down, and held my girlfriend's hand?
Exactly. When is the last time that you just gave your guy a hug just because? Say he's coming in from work, and I know this is so cliche, but you say hello and you just give him a hug. Just to say I'm making this physical contact, and just to let you know I'm here. If all you need is somebody to talk to, I'm here.
And that's the whole thing too, is that from a simple action from there to even going out to different places. And it's not talking about dating, it's about interaction in public.
Right.
Because that's a real sign right there that you're with this person holding hands when you're walking down the street right there.
Exactly. And that is so, whether you're holding them side by side or, you could be sitting on a park bench holding hands. And I know some people are not touchy-feely like that, and that's fine. But just every now and again, to your comfort level, just let that person know, hey, I'm still here. Because, when you first got together and you were riding in the car and you reached over, you made sure you were holding her hand, to get her attention. So these are just still small little things you can do every day because they add up.
And put the phone down, please.
Oh, yes, Lord, please put the phone down. Because when you're spending time with each other, then you have to give your focus and your energy to that person. And again, the small things count. Say, like, if you're out and, hey, babe, I'm going to meet you for lunch, or I'm going to meet up with you after work. So, we can just go to a restaurant together. If you're running late or and you're in heavy traffic, just shoot them a quick text, running behind, but I am going to be there.
And let them know, because, that's the one thing about it, is that by showing consideration, by keeping them informed, you go ahead and have a stronger relationship off of it. And 9 out of 10, these are usually where the fights come from anyway. Because you didn't show up on time, and you didn't say why you were late, or you pulling a no-show with no explanation right there, when all you had to do was just go ahead, give them a quick text, give them a quick call, and that would have been it right there. That's why it's important that when you're showing appreciation for that person, that you keep in constant communication with them on what's going on. And it isn't where you have to go ahead and up to the minute. There's not a news flash on this.
Yeah.
You don't have to constantly go overboard. But it's the simple things in which you show. Again, as I said, through eye contact, through simple touching, through just keeping them informed on situations where if you're late, or even just sending them a random text of saying, I love you right there.
Exactly, or just thinking about you, or, for people that like to leave little notes, put a little note in their briefcase or in their lunchbox or whatever you can do, even if it's just sending a cute emoji over the phone, just because, I was just thinking about you, or I miss you, or I can't wait till you get home. Just little things like that go a long way in making the other person feel desired and wanted, and that you're still interested.
And I know for a lot of guys, you think this is kind of corny right here, but the benefits outweigh all the problems which you're going to get from this. Because by doing just such simple actions right there, you're keeping peace at home.
Yes.
And you're keeping peace of mind too, because now she's telling you that she appreciates you on the flip side that you're telling her. So that's a very important thing right there.
Exactly. And ladies, we still have to, how when you first met him and he'd wear that cologne and he smells so good. If he's taking the time and energy to get up and still stay clean and still put on that same cologne, just let him know, oh, you smell good today. Just something, it's simple, but it's easy. And when he goes and get his hair cut or his beard, cut just right, all you got to do is let him know, oh, that looks good. I like that. And just let him know you still like what you see.
And that's the important part, too, because I know we were talking about relationships and dating, but also on the fact that if you're married, too, this is something which you really want to go ahead and look into because, there's a lot of marriages out there in which you lose that connection. You don't show that appreciation. You don't go ahead and show that gratitude that person in your life. And over the years, it starts to smolder over.
Oh, yeah. It's like you're ignoring me. You ain't paying me no attention. You come in straight from work, and then you go sit up and put your feet up. Really? Mm-hmm. You didn't say, hi, hon, how you doing? Not that you want to hear a long explanation of what happened, but just having a short, simple talk and go, you know what? I'm just going to go chill out and I'll be back in a moment, and Give your girl a kiss on the forehead, something.
I mean, exactly, because you know how many times, fellas, when you sit back there and your girl walks in and she takes her purse and throws it on the side of the couch and then walks away. And you got that little boy feeling that you just went ahead and got rejected by mommy on it. That's what we're talking about. These are the simple things in which, by showing just a simple affection and showing that simple form of appreciation, that really gets you to bond with that person. And you don't have ideas smoldering in your head right there because of it.
Exactly. You're not wondering like, well, what's she going off to do right now? She didn't even say hi. You know, I'm sitting right here. What am I? But, you know, and ladies, you know, definitely speak. Guys, you can definitely speak. And it only takes a couple of words. Just hi, how are you? You know, or hey, how you doing? I'm glad to see you.
Yeah.
You know, and go on about your way and go start relaxing and chilling. And a lot of times it's just sitting beside each other on the couch. Sit next to that person. You know how you always used to sit next to them when y'all first got together and hold their hands. And now you've got the house and the recliners and the massage chair and y'all off in 2 different rooms. Just do it on purpose. Go spend some time with the person.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's what it's all about. Because now you're talking about different things in which you can do for each other, to spend time with each other. But also it goes into when you're talking about needs, too.
Exactly. You have to make sure that you reconnect and you're not just using your partner to meet your needs only. And what we're talking about is like when somebody gets pigeonholed to a certain task and then that's all you see them for. You don't recognize that they do more than that.
Yeah, it's basically objectifying that person right there. They're here to cook. They're here to clean. They're here to go ahead and take care of this particular need. Step outside of that box right there. If you really want to show appreciation, go ahead, take out the trash. Go ahead, wash the dishes. Go ahead and do a lot of those things right there in which she was basically stuck in a role doing. And now by doing that yourself, you're showing appreciation for her. You're showing her that she's worth a lot more than just doing a particular task.
Exactly. You're showing that, you know, I care enough about you to help you out on this. And that kind of rolls into the next one where you expect your partner to meet all your sexual needs and they don't get anything in return. It's a 2-way street.
Yep.
If you get satisfaction, she should get satisfaction.
Keep that in mind, because here's the one thing. Nobody wants to go to bed and sleep right there and be unsatisfied.
Exactly. So that means, hey, y'all need to talk a little bit. What do you like? What does he like? And come to some terms and tell him what turns you on. You know, and tell him, okay, I like it when you touch me right there. So that as you're communicating, you know, these are one of those areas where you can definitely do better.
Exactly.
Because we don't go into a relationship knowing everything. You don't go into a relationship knowing that, okay, if I do this, you like it. You have to tell each other.
Exactly, because that's the one thing about it, is that satisfaction works both ways.
Yes.
That's why y'all are together right there, and you're not by yourself. That's called a very different thing in itself. You want to go ahead and satisfy her like she satisfies you. And that's the thing about it. That goes into the appreciation part right there.
Yes.
You know, but both sides being happy and satisfied off of it by communicating, by talking about this stuff. This is the best part about being an adult. You can actually say this stuff.
Oh, yes.
You can actually communicate. You can actually get into detail. You can actually have fun with this. And that's the thing that you need to be doing. Take advantage of the situation that because y'all are grown, y'all can talk about sex. You can express your feelings about sex. You can talk about what you like and what you don't like, and not constantly be under this whole thing about let me get mine and then roll. Because believe me, you go ahead and do that too many times and she'll be rolling on to somebody else.
Oh, yeah. And that just presents a whole nother pack of problems. That's a whole nother broadcast. So I'm not even going to touch that one.
Exactly.
Well, another thing where we tend to use our partners is expecting one in particular to carry all the financial responsibility for the household. In today's world, a lot of times it takes 2 people to work in order to carry the household. And you have to realize that financial responsibility is stressful.
Yep. And that's the one thing about it, is that if you can do something to help and help the situation out, just do it. I mean, you're living in the same home. Y'all are going for the same goals. You're going for the same thing. This shouldn't be another burden. And the problem is that too many people think that, well, I take care of this, so she should be able to take care of that. That's not showing appreciation. What that is being selfish. And that's the thing. What you want to do is keep a good household. Keep everybody happy. And that's the one thing about it, because there's a lot of simple stuff. People take finances a little bit too far sometimes when they don't realize that it's about paying the bill on time.
Yes, and paying your bills first. But you both have to be in the same mindset and know what's going on. You can't expect one person to go out and make all the money, then turn around and pay all the bills, and then all you do is spend. You have to turn around and go, you know what, you work hard, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate what you do to help us accomplish what we're trying to get. So just saying thank you every now and again goes a long way.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows when you're dealing with money, that can create stress. And what we're trying to do here is show you how to de-stress.
And that's the important part, because a lot of times what happens is that these are issues in which are constantly put on the back burner, which are constantly put on the side. Just like we say when it comes down to bills and responsibilities, is the fact that those become things in which you're hiding from your partner, that you're not talking about. And now you go from a $75 bill to a $350 bill because you've been constantly putting it to the side. And what's been happening is that you form more problems and more stress from the situation when it could have been solved earlier. That's why it's important to go ahead, communicate, talk, and then handle it. If you know that she's having problems right there, help her out. That way, in which you can show. I mean, a lot of guys, you have to figure out what it takes to go ahead and show your appreciation. And that's one thing. You just sit back there and say, okay, I can't wash dishes. I'm terrible. I leave food everywhere. Definitely don't want me to clean no house. Can't help out on anything else. But maybe this one area that you can go ahead and compensate for. I know it seems cliche, but believe me, every little bit helps.
It does. And if you can't wash dishes, go buy some paper plates. And you go, you know what, dear? You don't have to cook today. It's pizza night. I got dinner. If you don't know how to cook, then fine. Go buy it out and give her a break. And show, you've been working hard. You've been taking care of the kids all week, and they driving you crazy because when you walk in, all she wants is, I want coffee, let me out. And just say, well, dear, I'm going to send you to the spa today. Today's your day off. And even if it's only done on a Saturday, just by doing something simple, you come home with the coupons. Hey, spa day, go have some fun. And you handle the kids.
And that's the thing. It's finding simple things. Because, again, putting some type of effort into it is all it takes. Just a little bit. Finding something in which you go ahead and fit in on the relationship is a great way of showing your appreciation.
Yes.
Because it goes a long way. Because, believe me, she knows you cannot go in the kitchen. She knows that's a fire hazard. She knows that the last time you did right there,
you burnt the roast.
Woo! But you could find other ways of going ahead and handling it. As was mentioned before, there's spa days, taking care of the kids, just doing basic things around the house right there to help out is a big way of showing appreciation and a big way in which you can go ahead. And again, it's about bonding and keeping the home happy.
Exactly. And some of the things we're talking about today, they could be flipped. There are some girls who love getting a hammer and a nail, and they can go in and build out a new kitchen in a weekend, and that's perfectly fine. In some households, men love to cook, and that's perfectly fine. You do what works for you. The traditional roles of what society thinks may not be what's happening in your household, and that's fine. So if, she likes building out and she's working on a project, then you might surprise her by, getting her a gift card to Lowe's or whatever and go, here, babe, whatever you need, go get it.
I mean, that's the whole thing about it is this. That's why sometimes you got to go ahead and drop the traditional roles and ideas that you have about relationship. about who does what or
Right.
what they're doing, because you'd be surprised. Again, by communicating and finding out, you can be able to help out in ways in which you never suspected before. Because now you can fill roles in which you never thought she had.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, too, is that it's something in which keeps everybody happy, keeps everything nice. Because as I like to say, keep the happy house. That's the important part.
Yes, a happy, peaceful house. That is the most wonderful thing you can have. And say she's had a hard day at work, or he's had a hard day at work, and it's very physically demanding. Well, hey, you know what? If I don't know how to give you a back massage because I don't know what the heck I'm doing, I'm going to take you somewhere and let somebody else give you a massage.
That's
It relax you a little bit. De-stress you to help you relax so that you'll feel not taken advantage of.
And that's the whole thing, too, because when you're talking about taking responsibility on certain things, you don't want to go ahead and play the blame game. You don't
Right.
want to go ahead and play each other off of situations. You don't want to go ahead and look at it through one narrow prism. What you want to do is this: go ahead and take responsibility. Go ahead, do the things that need to be done. Go ahead and say you're sorry. I mean,
And there's nothing wrong with that. Our egos
Exactly.
get in the way when we have to stop and say, I'm sorry because I hate to be right. You know, you hate for the other person to be right, and I hate to be wrong. But actually, when you learn some humility, and then you can make it fun. You can go, you know what? You were right the other day. You know I hate that, but you were right. And go ahead and laugh it off. You know, present it in a way that, you know what, I just need to go home. Go ahead and say, you know, you were right. I was wrong. And then let that pressure go.
And that goes a long way. Again, that falls back into appreciation, because now you're not fighting over BS. And that's
Right.
99% of the time, that's what the real arguments are usually about. Is about something in which he said, she said, and how things were going, in a basic blame game back and forth in which it was really about nothing. And now by going ahead and apologizing and basically breaking bread on it, you've shown appreciation, you've shown respect, and everybody's happy.
Exactly, and that's what so much of this is about, showing appreciation. It's about letting what happened yesterday stay in yesterday, because especially if it was something little, and you have to sit back and look over it. Well, you walked in the house and you didn't say hello, and then I got insulted, and then one thing leads to another. When all you could have done is, okay, he walked in the house, he didn't say hello. You get up and just go give him a hug. Go give him a kiss. You go say hello. You know, go test the waters out and see. Was he really mad at you? He might have something on his mind.
Yep.
But you have to check and see if this is really the case.
Because that's the important part, is that it's every little bit.
Yeah.
It's just simple things. I mean, the craziest part about this whole conversation which we're having is that it's not about earth-changing events. It's about just simple interaction, just simple gestures, but they go a long way.
They do. They go so much a long way. When you feel appreciated, when someone appreciates you, it makes you feel like, okay, they care. They really do like me, and they understand that, you know, I'm doing something to help them.
And I mean, think about it, for real. I mean, how many times have you sat back there and wondered if a person really appreciates you? And how many times have you thought about that in a relationship in which it has been basically going on and on and on, over and over in your head, in which if they just simply said something,
Right.
it would gravitate into a whole different level right there. And it's just from something as simple as saying, thank you very much, dear, or you did a great job, or just patting someone on the back, or just, a long gaze in the eyes right there. But that's the important part, is just real simple things. And you don't have to go ahead, as we mentioned before, I don't think anything we've said other than the spa date right there is going to hurt anybody's pocket right there.
And exactly. And we're not saying you have to go out and buy a huge bouquet of roses. A single rose would do. Just because there are bouquets and flowers out there that don't cost, and she would still be surprised that you brought them home. You know, it could be daisies or daffodils, whatever her favorite flower is, or whatever flowers your local grocery store has, just something to brighten the day. just as a gift to say, well, here, dear, just because.
Yep, and make sure that she's not allergic to any of them.
True. We don't want to have any. Taking her to the hospital. And he's like, well, I was just trying to say I love you. But hey, again, that comes from talking and learning about each other. And learning that she might have an allergy. So you can avoid that situation.
Exactly. But that's the important part, though, is as I said, it's about keeping it simple and just doing the things in which show I love you, I care about you. And that's all it's about. Again, just keeping it really simple and easy, communicating right there, and making that contact right there is the most important thing that you can do.
It is. It's about putting the focus back on appreciating one another. You can set goals together, and that way you grow together because, again, you want to feel that connection, that we're still in this together. We started this as a team. We're going to finish this as a team. And so when you're doing these little things to help each other out, then you're going, okay, we are working together. I like that.
And that's the big thing, too, because it's just as simple as going ahead and saying thank you, is as simple as taking out the trash, or doing simple jobs in which you don't even think twice about. Thankless jobs around the house right there.
Exactly.
But these are important things in which go ahead and bring peace into the home and shows you care.
It is. And, just by guys, when you walk in, you're telling her she's still cute or she's still hot and you still like that. Those small little compliments. We have egos, too. We like to have our egos boosted every now and again. Yep. And, just to let that lady know, I still like what I see.
And that's the important part right there. Because I know you're getting tired of hearing about appreciation, but as you saw, it was really simple, it's really easy, but you know how important this really is right here.
It is, and these are small things you can do. It's not earth-shattering, it's not going to break the bank, but these are little things that you do along the way that help build the cement and the bricks for that relationship and help keep, these are the things that glue it together.
Yeah, and we're talking about not only for dating, but as well as in a married relationship too, and which brings out even more longevity to it right there, and also smooths out the waters if you've already had your little choppy bits.
Oh yes, it definitely does. So you know what, guys? Definitely give us some feedback, like and subscribe. And this has been Cece
and Kirk here
with the For Real Deal.
And peace and love to everyone.